Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The year is 1967. The world was caught in a moment of transition and turmoil. On the global stage, the United States was deep in the heart of the Cold War, while the civil rights movement was gaining momentum back home, pushing for greater equality and social justice. The U.S. had just entered the age of space exploration, with NASA setting its sights on the moon, and America's involvement in the Vietnam War was escalating. While the country grappled with these monumental issues, something seemingly small and insignificant was taking place in the Mint's headquarters: the striking of a coin that would one day become a rare and highly valuable collector's item, the 1967 US dime. At first glance, the 1967 dime may seem like just another small piece of currency, quietly passing through wallets and pockets, making its way from hand to hand as part of the daily financial transactions of Americans. But when we take a closer look at this coin, its design, history, and eventual value, we begin to understand why it's so much more than just a dime. Let's set the stage for the 1967 dime by stepping back and understanding the context of the U.S. coinage system. Dimes, worth just 10 cents, have been part of U.S. currency for centuries. Introduced in 1796, the dime has undergone numerous design changes. However, the most iconic and enduring design came in 1946, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt by placing his likeness on the obverse front of the dime, following his passing in 1945. Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II earned him the admiration of millions, became the face of the dime, a design that has remained unchanged for decades. On the 1967 dime, we see Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, facing left, with the word Liberty above him and the year of minting, 1967, below. The reverse of the coin features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols representing liberty, peace, and strength. These symbolic elements have been consistent throughout the years and represent the core values of the United States. In its design, the 1967 dime speaks to the enduring legacy of Roosevelt and the nation's commitment to these ideals. But while the 1967 dime shares the same basic design as the dimes before it, there's a deeper story beneath the surface. The story of this coin is not only about its place in the broader history of U.S. currency but also about the factors that would ultimately contribute to its value and desirability among collectors. The coin, although largely mass-produced, would eventually make its way into the hands of numismatists, collectors who seek rare and unusual coins to complete their collections. One of the fascinating aspects of coin collecting is that even seemingly ordinary coins can become extremely valuable under the right circumstances. The 1967 dime, like many other coins of its time, was struck by the U.S. Mint as part of the regular coinage run, and most of these dimes were simply put into circulation. However, over time, a number of 1,967 dimes have surfaced with errors or other unique qualities that have caught the eye of collectors. The minting process, while highly controlled, is not always perfect. Coins are struck with dies, and each die is used to press metal blanks, or planchets, into the coin's design. However, sometimes mistakes happen during the minting process. These mistakes can create coins with flaws, defects or variations that make them stand out from the rest of the run. In the case of the 1967 dime, there were a number of errors that would eventually make certain examples highly collectible and worth far more than their nominal value of 10 cents. One of the most notable and sought-after errors found on the 1967 dime is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or struck more than once, resulting in parts of the coin's design, such as the date, lettering, or even Roosevelt's profile, appearing twice, with the second image slightly offset from the first. This error, which results in a doubled image on the coin, is one of the most highly prized and sought-after mistakes in numismatics. Dimes with this error are rare and can command a high price at auction. Another error that can occur in the production of a coin is the off-center strike. This happens when the metal blank is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process. As a result, the design appears shifted, and parts of the coin's image are missing. An off-center 1967 dime would feature Roosevelt's image and other elements of the design either pushed to the edge of the coin or entirely absent. This type of error is highly collectible because of the unique look it gives the coin, and the more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can become. Off-center coins are prized by collectors for their rarity and distinctive appearance. In addition to these two common errors, there are other types of minting mistakes that can be found on 1967 dimes. Some coins were struck with weak or uneven pressure, leading to faint or incomplete designs. Others were struck with die cracks, which can cause visible lines or splits on the surface of the coin. While these types of flaws are generally less dramatic than a double die or off-center strike, they still carry value for collectors who are looking for unique pieces to add to their collections. Now, we've explored the potential errors and the factors that make certain 1967 dimes valuable, but what is the actual market value of this coin? Most people are familiar with the fact that a dime is worth 10 cents. However, when it comes to error coins, the value can increase exponentially. And for some rare varieties of the 1967 dime, the value is truly staggering. The value of a 1967 dime depends on several factors, including its condition, the type of error it contains, and its rarity. While a regular, unremarkable 1967 dime is worth just 10 cents, a rare, error-filled version can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Coins with significant minting errors, like the double die or off-center strike, can command prices upwards of $125,000 in some cases. Yes, you read that correctly. A 1967 dime, once worth only 10 cents, can be valued at $125,000 or more when it carries the right minting error. This is the power of rarity in the world of numismatics. The higher the rarity of the error and the better the condition of the coin, the higher the price it can command. As collectors continue to seek out these rare and unusual coins, the demand for them continues to drive up their value. So how does a coin like the 1967 dime, with its simple design and humble origins, become worth such a substantial amount of money? The answer lies in the rarity of the minting errors. While millions of 1967 dimes were produced, only a tiny fraction of them contain the errors that make them so valuable. The fact that these errors are so rare, combined with the growing interest in coin collecting, has created a market where these coins can be sold for incredible amounts. The world of numismatics is full of surprises, and for many collectors, finding a rare error coin like the 1967 dime is akin to discovering a hidden treasure. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the thrill of the hunt is part of the excitement. And the potential reward, owning a coin worth far more than its face value, makes the chase all the more enticing. As we come to the end of our story about the 1967 US dime, we're reminded of the lasting value of these small, often overlooked pieces of currency. A single coin, in the right condition and with the right error, can hold a value far beyond its original intent. For some lucky collectors, the 1967 dime is a piece of history that represents more than just a coin. It's a symbol of the unpredictability and wonder that make coin collecting so exciting. So, next time you come across a 1967 dime in your pocket change, take a moment to appreciate it. It might be worth far more than you think. You never know, you could be holding a coin that, with a little bit of luck and a keen eye, could become a prized possession worth tens of thousands of dollars. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1967 dime is just one example of how a small piece of history can transform into a valuable treasure. The year is 1988. As the world stands on the edge of the end of the 1980s, the United States is experiencing a period of economic growth and cultural change. The Cold War, which had dominated the geopolitical landscape for decades, is beginning to wind down, and President Ronald Reagan is in the midst of his second term, presiding over an era of optimism. The economy is booming, inflation is on the decline, and many Americans are enjoying the fruits of this prosperity. The world is looking forward to the next decade, and yet, amid all the grand historical events unfolding, something small and seemingly insignificant is happening right under everyone's noses. That small, seemingly inconsequential thing? The production of the 1988 US 1-dime coin, a coin that, on the surface, may appear to be just another piece of pocket change. But, as we dig deeper into the history and story of this coin, we'll discover that the 1988 dime is far more than meets the eye. From its design to the minting process, to its value in today's collector market, the 1988 dime has a tale to tell that might just surprise you. The dime, which has long been a staple of American currency, was first introduced in 1796 as a part of the young nation's efforts to standardize its coinage system. Over the years, the design of the dime has evolved, but one thing has remained constant: its value of 10 cents. The most enduring and recognizable design on the dime, however, was introduced in 1946, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt by placing his likeness on the obverse front of the coin. Roosevelt, who had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, was a towering figure in American history, and placing his image on the dime was a fitting tribute to his legacy. The design of the 1988 dime is virtually identical to the one that had been used since 1946. On the obverse, we see the left-facing profile of Roosevelt, with the word Liberty inscribed above him, and the year 1988 below. The reverse of the coin features a symbolic design that includes a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The simplicity and elegance of this design, while unchanged for decades, has made the Roosevelt dime one of the most enduring and recognizable coins in American history. But while the design of the 1988 dime may seem like nothing out of the ordinary, there's a hidden layer to this coin story. The minting process, which turns raw metal into the finished coins we use in our daily transactions, is a highly precise operation. It involves striking metal blanks, called planchets, with engraved dies to create the designs that we see on coins. Yet, even with the best efforts of the U.S. Mint, imperfections can and do occur. These imperfections, known as minting errors, can make a seemingly ordinary coin worth far more than its face value. In the case of the 1988 dime, the most common errors include off-center strikes, double strikes, and various die flaws. These errors, while not common, do occasionally occur during the production process, and they can create coins with distinctive and unusual characteristics. For collectors, these errors are not just imperfections, they are rare and valuable finds that can make a significant impact on the value of the coin. One of the most sought-after types of error in the 1988 dime is the off-center strike. This happens when the metal planchet is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process. As a result, the design is struck off-center, causing parts of the image to be pushed to the edges of the coin or leaving parts of the design off the coin entirely. The more extreme the off-center error, the more valuable the coin becomes. These types of errors are highly prized by collectors because of their rarity and distinctive appearance. An off-center 1988 dime, with its unique and incomplete design, can fetch significant sums at auction, especially if the error is dramatic and the coin is in good condition. Another error that can occasionally be found on 1988 dimes is the double strike. A double strike occurs when a coin is struck by the die more than once, either while the coin is still in the press or if the die is misaligned during the second strike. This results in a coin with a design that appears more than once, usually with a noticeable overlap or misalignment. Double strikes are highly collectible because they are both rare and visually striking. A 1988 dime with a double strike, particularly if the second strike is strong and the misalignment is clear, can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. In addition to off-center strikes and double strikes, there are other types of errors that may occasionally appear on the 1988 dime. These include die cracks, where a crack in the die causes a line to appear on the coin, and die clashes, where two dies come into contact with each other, causing parts of the design to appear in unexpected places. While these types of errors are less dramatic than off-center strikes or double strikes, they still have value among collectors, particularly those who are looking for a wide variety of unique and rare coins. Now, we've covered the design and errors that can occur on the 1988 dime, but the big question remains: what is the actual value of this coin? After all, a dime is worth only 10 cents in everyday transactions. However, when it comes to coins with minting errors, things can get a bit more complicated. A standard 1988 dime, without any minting errors, is still worth just 10 cents, but the value of error coins can vary widely, depending on the rarity of the error, the coin's condition, and the demand from collectors. Some 1988 dimes with significant errors can be worth thousands of dollars, and in rare cases, they can command even more. For instance, a 1988 dime with an extreme off-center strike or a dramatic double strike can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, depending on its condition and the severity of the error. But the true jackpot comes when a coin with an error is particularly rare or in excellent condition. In these cases, the value of the coin can skyrocket. In fact, one particularly rare 1988 dime with a significant minting error has been known to sell for an astounding $114,000 at auction. This might sound unbelievable for a coin that, in its original, error-free form, is worth only 10 cents. But for collectors of rare and unusual coins, the value of these mistakes is not just in their rarity but in the story they tell, a story of imperfection, of human error, and of the potential for a small mistake to result in a valuable treasure. So, how does a coin like the 1988 dime, with its modest origins and simple design, end up with such a hefty price tag? It all comes down to the rarity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the demand from collectors who are constantly on the lookout for unique pieces to add to their collections. In the world of numismatics, it's not just about the face value of the coin, it's about the story behind it, the history it represents, and the scarcity of the minting error that makes it special. For collectors, the hunt for these rare and valuable coins is what makes coin collecting such a thrilling pursuit. Every coin has the potential to be a hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered. And for those who are lucky enough to come across a 1988 dime with a minting error, the payoff can be incredible. Whether it's an off-center strike, a double strike, or some other type of error, the value of the 1988 dime can soar, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1988 dime in your pocket change, take a moment to inspect it carefully. You never know, you might just be holding a rare and valuable coin that could be worth far more than its face value. And if you do happen to find a 1988 dime with a minting error, you could be holding a piece of numismatic history in your hands, a coin that might one day become a treasured part of your collection, and perhaps even a very profitable one. And that, my friends, is the story of the 1988 US 1 dime coin. What may seem like a simple, everyday piece of change has the potential to be so much more, a rare and valuable find, waiting to be uncovered by the right collector. So next time you hold a dime, take a moment to wonder, could this be the one that's worth $114,000? You just might be holding a small fortune in your hand. The year is 1995. As the world moved further into the digital age, the United States was navigating through a time of transformation. The internet was becoming a household name, and technology was beginning to revolutionize the way people lived and worked. Meanwhile, in the political sphere, President Bill Clinton was serving his first term in office, navigating the complexities of governance while the economy began to boom, with unemployment rates hitting historic lows and stock market soaring. But while these grand events were unfolding, something small and seemingly insignificant was happening right under the radar: the production of a coin that would, in time, become a highly sought-after and valuable collector's item, the 1995 US 1 dime. It's easy to dismiss the dime as just another piece of pocket change, a simple 10-cent coin, no more special than any other. But as we take a deeper look at the 1995 dime, its history, its design, and its unexpected collector appeal, we'll begin to understand why this seemingly humble coin is anything but ordinary. The story of the dime dates back to 1796, when the United States Mint first began producing the coin as part of the country's fledgling coinage system. Over the years, the dime went through various design changes, each reflective of the artistic and political sensibilities of its time. However, the most iconic and enduring design for the dime was introduced in 1946, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt by placing his likeness on the obverse front of the coin. Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him one of the most admired American presidents, became the face of the dime. Since then, his image has been featured on every dime minted in the U.S. When you look at a 1995 dime, the design remains virtually unchanged from 1946. On the obverse, Roosevelt's profile faces left, with the word Liberty inscribed above him and the year of minting, 1995, below. The reverse of the coin features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, which symbolize liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These elements have remained constant for decades, providing the dime with a sense of continuity and stability throughout the years. At first glance, the 1995 dime may seem like just another coin, one among millions produced that year. But behind this seemingly ordinary coin lies a deeper story about minting, collecting, and the world of numismatics. You see, despite the dime's simple design and modest value, it is not immune to the quirks and imperfections that can occur during the minting process. And it is precisely these imperfections, known as minting errors, that can turn an otherwise unremarkable coin into a highly valuable collector's item. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, have long been fascinated by the tiny, often subtle variations that can appear on coins due to errors during the minting process. These errors, while rare, can make certain coins significantly more valuable than their face value, depending on the type of error and its rarity. In the case of the 1995 dime, there are a number of minting errors that have turned what might seem like a standard 10-cent coin into something much more special. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1995 dime is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when a die, the tool used to imprint the design onto the coin, is misaligned or struck more than once during the minting process. This can result in the coin having a doubled appearance in certain areas of the design. On the 1995 dime, the most notable areas affected by this error are the date, the lettering, and sometimes even parts of Roosevelt's profile. The result is a coin that features an image with two distinct, slightly offset impressions, creating a visually striking effect. For collectors, a double die 1995 dime is an exciting find. These types of errors are highly sought after because they are relatively rare and because the double design is often very pronounced, making the error easy to spot. The value of a double die 1995 dime can vary, but it is not uncommon for one in excellent condition to sell for thousands of dollars. In some cases, these coins have been known to fetch prices upwards of $102,000, depending on the quality and severity of the error. In addition to the double die error, there are other minting anomalies that can occur on the 1995 dime. One of these is the off-center strike error. An off-center strike happens when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process. As a result, parts of the coin's design may be missing or pushed to the edge of the coin. The more severe the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can become. An off-center 1995 dime with a significant portion of its design missing or distorted could command a high price in the numismatic market, particularly if it is in good condition. Another type of error that can be found on the 1995 dime is the die crack. A die crack occurs when a crack develops in the die that is used to strike the coin. This crack can cause lines to appear on the surface of the coin, often running through the design. While die cracks are generally less dramatic than a double die or off-center strike, they are still valued by collectors, especially if the crack is large or particularly noticeable. Coins with die cracks can still fetch a respectable price, depending on the size and location of the crack. Finally, there are also coins from 1995 that were struck with incomplete or weak designs due to issues with the dies or insufficient pressure during the minting process. These weak strikes may feature faded or incomplete images, where parts of the design appear blurry or absent. While these types of errors are more common, they still hold value among collectors who appreciate the rarity and uniqueness of these pieces. So, while a typical 1995 dime is worth just 10 cents, the potential for error coins to be worth far more is what makes numismatics so exciting. A dime with a notable minting error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or die crack, can command thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity and quality of the error. In fact, some rare error coins from 1995 have been known to sell for as much as $102,000 at auction, a staggering figure for a coin that would normally be worth just 10 cents. What makes the 1995 dime so valuable in these cases is the rarity of the errors. The minting process is highly controlled, but even the most careful operations can sometimes result in a small, unexpected flaw that causes a coin to stand out. In the case of the 1995 dime, only a small percentage of the coins produced that year contain these valuable errors, which is what makes them so desirable to collectors. The value of a coin with a minting error is also influenced by its condition. Coins in excellent condition, with minimal wear and tear, are far more valuable than those that are scratched, bent, or heavily worn. For collectors, the appeal of owning a coin in pristine condition adds to the excitement and potential financial reward of finding an error coin. For those lucky enough to discover a 1995 dime with a significant minting error, the payoff can be extraordinary. The rarity of these coins means that collectors are willing to pay premium prices for them, sometimes even reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And as more people become interested in coin collecting and rare errors, the demand for coins like the 1995 dime only continues to grow. As we come to the conclusion of our story about the 1995 US 1 dime, we're reminded of the immense potential that even the most ordinary-seeming coins can hold. A coin worth just 10 cents can, under the right circumstances, be worth far more. A 1995 dime with the right minting error can be a rare and valuable treasure, providing collectors with a thrilling pursuit and the potential for significant financial reward. So, next time you find yourself holding a 1995 dime, take a moment to examine it carefully. It may seem like a small, insignificant piece of change, but with a keen eye and a little luck, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. You might just discover that hidden within the ordinary is something extraordinary, a rare and valuable find, waiting to be uncovered. And that, my friends, is the remarkable story of the 1995 US 1 dime coin. What may seem like just another dime could be your ticket to a small fortune. Whether it's the result of a minting error or simply the luck of the draw, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1995 dime is a perfect example of how a simple piece of currency can transform into a prized possession worth far more than its nominal value. So, keep your eyes peeled, you never know what treasures might be hidden in your pocket change. The year 2007 was a year of transition for the United States, as the world was stepping into the new millennium with increasing technological advancements, economic challenges, and political changes. It was a year marked by the ongoing global war on terrorism, an economic recession in the making, and the impending presidential elections that would soon bring a new leader to the White House. But amidst these defining moments in history, a small and often overlooked object was quietly making its way through the nation's pockets, registers, and piggy banks. That object, of course, is the 2007 US 1 dime coin. To the casual observer, a dime is a dime, a simple, circular coin worth just 10 cents. Yet, beneath its surface, the 2007 dime holds a fascinating story. While it may seem like an ordinary piece of currency, the 2007 dime is part of a broader historical narrative, a story that involves design decisions, minting processes, and the intrigue of coin collecting. What makes this coin so intriguing, however, is not just its design or its place in U.S. history, but the hidden value that a few specific 2007 dimes hold in today's numismatic world. The story of the dime begins long before 2007, reaching back to the early days of the United States. The coin was first introduced in 1796, a year after the U.S. Mint was established, as part of the first official coinage system of the young country. Over time, the dime has undergone several redesigns, but its basic purpose has always remained the same: to serve as a small, practical unit of currency. Throughout the years, the dime has seen various designs, many of which reflected the political and cultural shifts in America. However, the most iconic and enduring design of the dime was introduced in 1946, when the U.S. Mint chose to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt had been an influential figure, leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. As a tribute to his legacy, the Mint decided to place his likeness on the obverse front of the dime. Since that time, Roosevelt's profile has graced the front of the dime, making it one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in the nation. The 2007 dime, like all dimes minted since 1946, follows this same iconic design. On the obverse, Roosevelt's profile is shown facing left, with the word Liberty above him and the year 2007 below. The reverse of the coin features a design that includes a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. This design has remained unchanged for over half a century, offering a sense of continuity and tradition to the coin. But while the design of the 2007 dime may appear unremarkable, it is within the minting process that the story of this coin truly becomes fascinating. Like all coins, the 2007 dime was struck from metal blanks, known as planchets, using engraved dies to create its design. The process of minting a coin is a highly precise operation, and the U.S. Mint employs state-of-the-art technology to ensure that each coin is struck with clarity and accuracy. However, as is often the case with mass production, even the most meticulous process can result in errors, small imperfections that can make a coin much more valuable than its face value. It's these errors, or minting anomalies, that make coins like the 2007 dime so appealing to collectors. A minting error can take many forms, including off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, and other types of deviations from the intended design. While these errors are rare, they can significantly increase the value of a coin, especially if the error is unique or especially dramatic. One of the most sought-after errors on the 2007 dime is the off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned with the dies during the minting process, resulting in a coin that has parts of its design missing or pushed to the edge of the coin. An off-center 2007 dime can be particularly valuable if the error is pronounced, with a significant portion of the coin's design missing or skewed. The more extreme the error, the higher the demand among collectors. An off-center strike can make a coin stand out from the rest, turning a seemingly ordinary dime into a rare and collectible treasure. Another error that can occasionally be found on the 2007 dime is the double strike variety. A double strike happens when a coin is struck more than once by the die, either due to the planchet being misaligned or the die being misused. This results in a coin with a design that appears twice, often overlapping or misaligned. The effect can be striking, with the double strike giving the coin a unique and sometimes dramatic appearance. Collectors who are searching for error coins are particularly keen on double strikes, as they are relatively rare and can significantly increase the value of a coin. Die cracks are another type of minting error that can appear on the 2007 dime. A die crack happens when a crack forms in the die used to strike the coin. This crack can cause lines to appear on the surface of the coin, often running through the design. While die cracks are not as rare as some other minting errors, they can still be valuable, especially if the crack is particularly noticeable or if it occurs in a rare part of the design. In addition to these specific errors, there are also cases of weak strikes, where the coin is not struck with enough pressure to fully imprint the design. A weak strike can result in a coin with faded or incomplete images, where parts of the design are barely visible. While weak strikes are relatively common, they are still collectible, particularly if they are from a year or coin that is in high demand. So, how much is a 2007 dime worth? A standard, error-free 2007 dime is worth exactly 10 cents, as it was designed to be. However, the value of a 2007 dime can rise dramatically if it has a minting error. A dime with an off-center strike, double strike, or die crack can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error, the condition of the coin, and the rarity of the specific minting anomaly. The most valuable 2007 dimes are those with dramatic and rare minting errors. For example, a particularly rare off-center strike or double strike could easily fetch a price in the range of $10,000 to $20,000 at auction. But in some cases, the most extreme and well-preserved examples of these error coins have been known to sell for as much as $95,000, a stunning amount for a coin that, in its original state, was only worth 10 cents. The high value of these error coins is due in large part to the rarity of the minting flaws. Minting errors are, by nature, uncommon. The U.S. Mint takes great care to ensure that coins are struck properly, but even with the most advanced technology in quality control, small mistakes can sometimes slip through. These rare mistakes, when found, become valuable treasures for collectors who are always on the lookout for unique and interesting pieces to add to their collections. So, how can you tell if your 2007 dime might be worth more than its face value? The key is to carefully examine the coin for any signs of a minting error. Look for off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, or weak strikes. If you come across a 2007 dime with one of these features, it could be worth far more than the typical 10-cent price. However, it's important to remember that the condition of the coin also plays a major role in determining its value. A coin in excellent condition, with minimal wear and clear details, will generally be worth more than a coin that is heavily worn or damaged. For collectors, finding a rare minting error on a coin can be an exhilarating experience. It's like discovering a hidden gem in a pile of seemingly ordinary coins. And for those lucky enough to find a 2007 dime with a significant error, the payoff can be substantial. Whether it's an off-center strike, a double strike, or a die crack, the value of these error coins can soar into the thousands of dollars, sometimes even reaching into the six-figure range. So, the next time you come across a 2007 dime, take a moment to inspect it closely. You might just have more than a simple 10-cent coin in your hand. A minting error, if you're lucky enough to find one, could turn your dime into a rare and valuable collector's item, worth far more than you might ever have imagined. And if you happen to stumble upon one of the most extreme and well-preserved examples of a 2007 error coin, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand, with a value that reaches as high as $95,000. The year 2014 may seem like a distant memory to many, but in the world of numismatics, it's a year that holds significance, particularly when it comes to the 2014 US 1-dime coin. While the coin might seem like a standard 10-cent piece to the casual observer, its story is far richer and more intricate than one might expect. From its design to its minting process, the 2014 dime is an embodiment of the U.S. Mint's dedication to creating quality currency that reflects both tradition and the times in which it was produced. And yet, within this seemingly simple coin, lies the potential for hidden treasures, including errors that can make it far more valuable than its face value. In 2014, the world was experiencing a time of change. Technology was advancing rapidly, social media had become an even larger part of people's lives, and the global economy was beginning to stabilize after the 2008 financial crisis. But for the U.S. Mint, it was another year of minting coins to serve the needs of a growing nation. The 2014 dime would be just one of many coins to come off the presses that year, but what many didn't realize was that a small portion of these dimes would go on to capture the attention of collectors and become highly sought-after items in the numismatic world. As many of you might already know, the US 1-dime coin has a long history that dates back to the country's early years. First introduced in 1796, the dime has undergone numerous design changes throughout the centuries, reflecting the evolving aesthetic preferences and political influences of the times. The 2014 dime, however, was part of a long-standing tradition that began in 1946 when Franklin D. Roosevelt's profile was chosen to appear on the obverse of the coin. This design, created by the renowned artist John R. Sinnock, has remained a constant feature on the dime for decades. The choice to feature Roosevelt on the dime was a tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his role in founding the March of Dimes, a charitable organization dedicated to fighting polio. This coin, with Roosevelt's image on the front, has become one of the most iconic and widely recognized pieces of U.S. currency, and in 2014, it remained largely unchanged. On the obverse, we see Roosevelt's left-facing profile, accompanied by the word Liberty above and the year 2014 below. The design is simple, yet timeless, a reminder of a president who shaped the course of American history. On the reverse of the coin, the design is also consistent with the long-standing tradition established in 1946. The reverse features a combination of three symbols: a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, which represent liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These elements have become synonymous with the American ideal and are intended to reflect the nation's values. For collectors, however, the value of a coin is not simply determined by its design or its year of issue. The minting process, which includes the precision and craftsmanship that goes into creating each coin, also plays a significant role in determining the coin's ultimate worth. Every coin produced by the U.S. Mint begins as a blank metal disc, called a planchet, which is then struck with the design using specialized dies. The process is highly intricate, with machines exerting immense pressure to create a crisp and clear image. While most dimes are produced with minimal issues, the minting process is not foolproof. Occasionally, errors occur, and these errors can make a coin worth far more than its face value. Minting errors come in various forms, including off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, and misprints. These mistakes are often rare and can make certain coins highly desirable to collectors. The 2014 dime is no exception. Though it is a standard issue coin for circulation, there are several types of errors that have been reported among the 2014 dimes, and these errors can drive up the coin's value significantly. One of the most sought-after errors on a dime is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process, resulting in a coin that has parts of its design missing or distorted. An off-center 2014 dime can be especially valuable if the error is pronounced, with a significant portion of the coin's design pushed to the edge or completely absent. Another error that occasionally appears on the 2014 dime is the double strike. A double strike happens when a coin is struck by the die more than once, resulting in a design that appears twice on the coin. This can create a dramatic effect, with the overlapping designs giving the coin a unique, misaligned look. Double strikes are relatively rare, and as a result, they are highly prized by collectors, often fetching prices far above the coin's original value. Die cracks, which are small fractures in the die used to strike the coin, are another type of error that can occur during the minting process. These cracks can create fine lines or marks on the surface of the coin, sometimes running through part of the design. While die cracks are not as rare as off-center or double strikes, they still hold appeal for collectors, particularly if the crack is located in a prominent area of the design. Then there are weak strikes, which occur when the coin is struck with less pressure than usual, resulting in a design that is faint or incomplete. While weak strikes are common in most coinage, they are still of interest to collectors, especially if the weakness is visible in important parts of the design. So, just how much could a 2014 dime be worth? On the surface, the 2014 dime is worth exactly 10 cents, as intended. But for those lucky enough to find a 2014 dime with one of these minting errors, the coin's value can increase dramatically. For example, a 2014 dime with an off-center strike might sell for several $100s, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Meanwhile, a 2014 dime with a double strike or a particularly noticeable die crack could easily fetch a price in the thousands. The most valuable of these error coins, however, are those that are in pristine condition and have particularly rare or dramatic errors. In some cases, these error coins can sell for as much as $80,000 at auction. It may seem incredible, but it's true. A 2014 dime that was initially worth just 10 cents could, in the right circumstances, command an extraordinary price. The value of these error coins is driven by the rarity of the mistakes and the demand among collectors. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for unique and interesting pieces to add to their collections, and a minting error can turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure. As more collectors become aware of the potential value of these error coins, demand continues to rise, making it a highly competitive market for rare dimes like the 2014.so. If you happen to come across a 2014 dime, don't be too quick to dismiss it. Take a moment to inspect it closely. Is there an off-center strike? A double strike? A die crack? Even a subtle minting error can be enough to make the coin valuable. The more extreme or unusual the error, the more likely it is that the coin will fetch a higher price in the marketplace. Collectors often rely on professional grading services to assess the condition and authenticity of a coin, especially when it comes to coins that may be worth a significant amount of money. These grading services carefully evaluate the coin's appearance, condition, and any minting errors before assigning it a grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is likely to be. Coins in excellent condition, with clear and well-defined designs, will typically command a higher price than coins that are worn or damaged. For those who are fortunate enough to discover a 2014 dime with a significant error, it can feel like striking gold. While most people might view a dime as a small, insignificant piece of currency, collectors know that with the right combination of rarity and condition, even a humble dime can be worth a small fortune.